I'm the Funky Grognard, and I'm answering your questions. Cheers.
Alright, so like, when you're playing your games, is it cooler to like have terrain and like visual aids and stuff, like little miniatures? Or is it cooler to just go without and just be like all mental, like tabletop, old school, like piece of paper, a pencil, and some dice? Like, which one's cooler? Which one?
Chuck! Chuck. That is the most excellent question, and the Funky Grognard thanks you for it. So, what is cooler? Having detailed and intricate miniatures and terrain, or going with the mental game and minimalism? Ultimately, what is cool is in the eye of the beholder. What is cool for one person is not necessarily cooler for the other, and vice versa. So my ultimate advice, and the short answer is, follow your heart, do what you think is cool, and you'll be fine. But let's dig a little bit deeper. So, miniatures and terrain. I gotta say, first and foremost, it is definitely an art. So for those that can build, create, design, paint their own miniatures and terrain, I fucking salute you, because it's hard as hell, and if you can pull it off and use it to enhance your game, that is fantastic. And there's a lot of advantages to miniatures and terrain. People can take a miniature, supplant their personality and their character onto that miniature, and it puts them into the game more. It can demonstrate scale. It can increase the fantasy factor of the game, and, you know, it's fun. So I'm going to show you a couple of quick examples of miniatures and terrain done right. March 2017, I was at the CAFCON Fantasy Gaming and Role-Playing Convention. A lot of the DMs were making extensive use of props and miniatures. It definitely enhanced the player's enjoyment of the game, and, once again, I salute the DMs who put their time, skill, heart, and soul into it. It was a sight to see. So, miniatures and terrain. A lot to be said about it. But let's look at the other side of the coin. The mental game and minimalism. This is where I fall into. I am not a big proponent of giant set pieces, gargantuan terrain, intricate miniatures, or props. In fact, the only time I use props is if I am DMing at a convention and I can give that prop to the players as kind of a thank you for playing my game. So I don't use them. And the reason I don't use them, and this is just my opinion, is the more you put in front of your players, the less they're going to imagine. And so using the converse of that, the less I give my players in terms of props, miniatures, terrain, the more they have to utilize their imagination. The more they utilize their imagination, the more potent and enhanced the overall roleplay experience will be. So for me, and once again, this is solely my opinion, I want to reiterate that, the only thing I use is paper, dice, Hexarid grid map, and maybe a few tokens to indicate position on the board, and that's it. And I'm not saying that's right, I am simply saying that is right for me and my style of DMing. You need to do what's right for you. So my young apprentice, we've come full circle. Sorry, I was trying to be cool there. But I'm going to simply reiterate what I said at the very beginning. Do what is right for you and your style of role-playing. If that means set pieces, terrain, miniatures, do it. If that means going with the mental game, minimalism, the bare essentials, do it. Do what is right for you. That's my answer. Thanks for your question, Chuck. Funky Grognard, signing off.